Tonight on WTOP-10 Nightly News, a poster-making session for Cherise Trump, but not for those in favor.
And threats of violence in high schools stretched across New York State today.
And our WTOP-10 reporter Jared Wakefield was there for the Ozfest reveal.
WTOP-10 Nightly News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Jacquelyn Driggs.
And I'm Kyle Spisak.
Students are advocating to, quote, take a stand at a peaceful sit-in tomorrow night. Some students feel unheard, and because of that, the event is going to be silent. The posters speak for themselves tomorrow night. The event will be taking place at Marano Campus Center in response to the recent controversial figure that is set to speak on campus tomorrow.
SUNY Oswego is a public institution, meaning it is more difficult to disallow someone to speak on campus than private institutions. Students tomorrow at the poster-making session will exercise their First Amendment rights as students from the College Conservatives organization await Cherise Trump's arrival. At the time, there has been no statement from the organizers of the poster-making.
April marks the beginning of Sexual Awareness Month. SUNY Oswego is helping spread awareness for the cause throughout the month. In the coming weeks, expect events that will bring light to a topic that affects many. Just today, the event, What Were You Wearing?, was held in the Marano Campus Center. Next event is a movie showing called On the Basics of Sex on April 11th.
Oswego Health is celebrating National Foot Health Awareness Month, and they want to spread the word on how you can treat, well, your feet. The Center for Wound Healing treats chronic foot wounds from underlying conditions like diabetes and ulcers as well. Experts say keep your feet nice and healthy. You can wash your feet daily, check for injuries, wear proper fitting shoes, and always wear socks with your shoes.
The announcement is finally here. Party Next Door will headline SUNY Oswego's 2023 Ozfest concert.
Oswego Now's Jared Wakefield stopped by the Marano Campus Center as organizers move past the controversy around last year's event.
March 31st. The date circled on the calendar for Ricky Strachan and Nicholas Riley as they planned this year's Ozfest concert. The crowd did not disappoint as the Student Association Programming Board announces hip-hop star Party Next Door will headline this year's concert.
Party Next Door has kind of already started to blow up. He's currently signed under Drake's record label. He's doing major songs. One of his songs is currently trending on TikTok. So it was really good to get not just the usual coming up artist, but an artist that's in his peak right now.
Ozfest is a busy day, from blow-up attractions to endless cotton candy. However, the concert is the star of Ozfest's show. Finding an artist that will rock the wheelhouse but also won't rock the checkbook has been a challenge for SAPV.
There were artists, honestly, that were on the list that literally shot up maybe 70K within the 2 weeks that we were doing this voting. So I was in shock. I was like, oh, okay, we thought he was an option. He technically isn't anymore, yeah.
Last year, students were disappointed after a lineup headlined by Ari Lennox was revealed. Students said they were unheard. Strachan and Riley did not want that to happen again.
Last year, one of the main things I had heard was the idea of it seeming not even like favoritism, but like people weren't even, like votes weren't considered. It was really just like a choice thing, and we didn't want it to feel that way this time. So
with each and every concert, you live and you learn. There are certain things that you realize that could have been done a bit differently, certain things that you could have critiqued.
The first impressions say that it hasn't happened again.
I think I didn't care about last year as much, but this year, it sounds cooler, so I'll be going, yeah.
This year's opening act is also a change of pace. Oxcord Wars, a national DJ troupe, will greet students' ears as they take their seats for the show.
They are really great at crowd control, especially engaging with the crowd, doing different competitions, music-based competitions, and they also do a lot of giveaways.
On May 5th, Strachan and Riley will see if they've turned the tide. For now, the campus lays in wait for Mayflowers and for the party to come to Oswego's door. Jared Wakefield for WTOP-10.
This year's Ozfest will be held May 5th. Tickets are currently on sale for the concert online or in person at the college's box office. Tickets cost $15 for students and $25 for non-students.
Recruit New York is being held in April 22nd and April 23rd across New York State to help increase volunteer membership in local fire departments. Volunteers are essential for medical emergencies, automobile accidents, and also save New Yorkers $4.7 billion annually. According to the Firefighters Association of New York, Legislation in Albany is working towards better incentives for volunteers, including an increased tax credit and foundational firefighting training courses.
Fulton police responded to a call at 1 a.m. Friday regarding a suspicious fire where police found 3 vehicles ablaze. Surveillance footage shows a suspect wearing dark clothes and a hood entering the parking lot with 2 gas cans, lighting the cars on fire and fleeing the scene. Anyone with information on this case is asked to contact investigator Thomas Yager at 315-592-3431.
Anonymous email threats and other forms of swatting threats were received across New York State on Tuesday throughout more than 50 school districts. Schools were delayed opening and K-9 units and officers searched the campuses. Governor Kathy Hochul of New York put out a statement reassuring parents and students that her top priority will always be the safety of New Yorkers, and that law enforcement is working very hard to identify the perpetrators and hold them accountable.
April is Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and the New York State Department of Health is launching a new campaign to support the cause. The initiative to raise awareness of the dangers from distracted driving comes after research found 1 in 4 injuries during crashes were caused from distracted driving.
And now let's take a quick look at the weather with Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders.
Today was cloudy but still warm. Is this something we will see throughout the rest of the week, Brianna?
We can see the warming trend continue throughout the week. We are expecting the temperatures to rise even into the lower 60s tomorrow. I have more details on that later, but taking a quick look at this convective outlook that was issued by the National Weather Service, we are put into the border of a slight and marginal risk. This means we can see some isolated severe thunderstorms. We have a marginal wind threat here along with a very slight chance of tornadoes, about 2%. I'll have more updates on that on my full forecast for you after the break. Now, back to the desk.
And coming up later tonight, a historic arrest in New York City played out today.
And another European country becomes the 31st member of NATO.
I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the Earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.
The Kinda Late Show with Chloe and Anna. Like licorice, Twizzlers, absolutely nasty. The thought of turkey is just nauseating. I think you're wrong, is what I think. You think I'm wrong a lot of times. I do think you're wrong a lot.
When you look at the number of disasters in the U.S., chances are every area will deal with some kind of emergency in the next decade. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
I guess I have really been looking for love in this dating app. Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.
Welcome back. I'm Storm Team 10 meteorologist Brianna Saunders. Now, as I mentioned, we do have a convective outlook issue putting us on the border of a slight and marginal risk. When we look at that, we can see our greatest threat associated with this is a wind threat. We have about a 15% chance of wind. You might be wondering what that means. Well, in our terms, all we need to know is that there is a chance of a stray thunderstorm or two passing through, bringing us some gusty winds up to 30 to 35 miles per hour. We do have a slight chance of some lightning, a lower risk than the wind. You can expect a rumble or two throughout your day as you're heading into classes. So don't be scared if you hear a loud boom sitting in your classes tomorrow. It might just be a stray lightning bolt or two. And we do have a 2% tornado risk. This means there is a small chance of an isolated tornado if a storm can get severe warned. I'm not saying there will be tornadoes, but just keep in mind there is a chance, so you should stay tuned to your local weather sources for more information throughout the day tomorrow. Taking a look at our trash can forecast, we can see that there is a chance of your trash can getting knocked over. As I said before, there is a chance of 30 to 35 mile per hour gusts. Looking at this, we can expect our trash cans to get knocked over, but we're not quite expecting them to get into your neighbor's yard unless we get a really severe thunderstorm, which is not super expected with this system rolling through, but not impossible. Now, taking a quick look at some lightning safety, we can see the best thing you could do is to stay inside. You want to stay away from all windows and go to the innermost part of your house. And looking at tall objects, you want to stay away from those. Don't go near tall objects, as lightning is attracted to that. And as you're heading out the door tomorrow, you can see our temperatures ranging from the upper 40s to the lower 60s around 3 p.m., starting to decrease as those storms roll through, bringing some cold air to blast into our area. We can expect those temperatures to drop into the 50s by 7 p.m., heading into the lower 40s overnight. Now, taking a quick look at our 7-day forecast, we can see, as mentioned, we're expecting thunderstorms with the high of 64, low of 39 tomorrow. Again, that cold blast is making those temperatures drop drastically. Heading into Wednesday, we have a high of 58, a low of 47, with another slight chance of some thunderstorms to roll through our area. Heading into Friday and our weekend, we can see sunny skies return with our highs staying in the lower 40s, upper 30s, and lower 50s. They start to rise towards the end of the weekend, and heading into our early week, we can see those temperatures finally rise back into the 60s, staying partly sunny with a slight drop-off towards Tuesday. That's it for my full forecast. Now back to you guys at the desk.
Okay, thank you, Brianna. The historic surrender of former President Donald Trump played out in New York City today. CNN's Mike Valerio has more.
Former President Donald Trump walking into his historic arraignment on more than 30 charges related to business fraud. Tuesday's legal proceedings relatively short, but its impact on American history seismic, unprecedented. Trump is now the first ever former or sitting president to be criminally charged. The charges center on a 2016 hush money payment to adult film star Stormy Daniels, facilitated by his then personal lawyer and fixer, Michael Cohen, who was convicted for his role in that payment and testified to the New York grand jury against his former boss.
Michael Cohen did time for a crime that the federal prosecutors in Manhattan said Donald Trump directed him to do, and it was only for his benefit. And so Michael Cohen did the time. Now it's time for equal justice.
Trump is already looking ahead towards a possible trial, posting Tuesday morning that it should be moved to Staten Island because Manhattan would be, quote, very unfair. Security around the New York City courthouse was ramped up ahead of Tuesday's arraignment, with overall peaceful crowds gathering both for and against Trump, including a brief appearance by one of his most vocal allies on the Hill.
This is the former president of the United States of America, and the government has been weaponized against him.
He is not above the law. He should not be above the law. The analysis of whether or not he is or is not a former president should be irrelevant.
The next step for Trump, back at home at Mar-a-Lago Tuesday night, where his lawyers have said they'll dissect every charge in the now unsealed indictment and plan their defense.
Donald Trump has now since left New York back to Mar-a-Lago, and the next in-person court date in New York City will be held December 4th.
The FBI seized the web domains of a popular cybercrime forum, Genesis Market, an invite-only crime forum that sold login information from thousands of computers. The Bureau named the takedown Operation Cookie Monster, a play on words of how the website sold information known as cookies, according to the seizure notice. The forum was active for about 5 years, where it played a key role in allowing cybercriminals to carry out identity theft, fraud, and ransomware attacks.
Florida State Senate has passed a bill that would ban most abortions in the state after about 6 weeks of pregnancy. The bill would impose restrictions on telehealth abortions and medications and targets both physicians and participants of the procedures. It would also include exemptions for women facing life-threatening pregnancies and victims of sexual assault and human trafficking. The bill would still have to go through the GOP-led House.
Meghan Markle is being recognized for her tireless work and activism advocating for women. Markle, along with Prince Henry, founded Artwell, which in 2020 directed grants and supporting to various charities supporting women and girls. Gloria Steinem, the founder of Miss Foundation for Women, will present Markle with the Woman of Vision Award at the foundation's 50th anniversary gala in New York next month.
Finland officially becomes the 31st member of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, also known as NATO. This doubles the military alliance's border presence in a big blow to Russia and President Putin's attempts to undermine NATO since his invasion of Ukraine. Sweden is also seeking to join, but are stalled by NATO members Turkey and Hungary. Russia said they will scale up their forces near Finland if weapons are sent out to the new member country. And stay tuned to see how more food shortages will affect fast food prices.
And find out what the national holiday is tomorrow.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
And welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. Spicy food has become the new trend, and Heinz Ketchup is joining by releasing 3 new hot pepper ketchup options, as well as a new Hot Heinz 57 sauce. The new flavors include chipotle, jalapeno, and habanero ketchup. Heinz says nearly half of millennials and Gen Z shoppers buy spicy sauces regularly and actively look for a variety of flavor options.
While there may be more ketchup and hot sauce options on the market, you may have to pay more for the food to pair with it. Fast food restaurants are experiencing a shortage of small chicken parts, and prices for the chicken products will begin to rise. Companies like Kentucky Fried Chicken and Chick-fil-A use chickens weighing about 4 pounds, and the demand is driving up costs on all ends.
Millions of Americans suffer from chronic back pain, and in today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has a look at a message robot and how this device may change the way back pain is treated.
It may be the future of massage therapy. A robot named Emma.
EMMA stands for Expert Manipulative Massage Automation.
Dr. Brent Bauer is part of a team at Mayo Clinic studying this device, which uses a form of therapeutic massage called Tweena to target nonspecific low back pain.
This is actually a device that can actually detect acupuncture points and then deliver targeted therapy.
Bauer says right now there aren't enough massage therapists to meet demand. Emma may be able to help some of the workload.
It is designed to have artificial intelligence. It can learn each time it works with the same patient. It can map out different points of tenderness, muscle tension, and then through algorithms that are far beyond my comprehension, can actually target the machine to move from spot to spot different depths.
Bauer says the device can also use different massage techniques with tools that can be attached to the arm. It can go from a rubbing motion to a pinching motion and more, but he says it wouldn't replace massage therapists.
If we set things up with a therapist, if the machine could do a lot of the heavy lifting, and then the therapist can kind of finalize and make sure things were covered, I think we can protect our therapists, allow them to see more patients, but with less wear and tear.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The Mayo Clinic is testing this massage robot now to see what patients think of it. After the study, they'll decide whether to use it throughout their hospital systems or not.
An estimated 1 in 6 people globally are affected by infertility. Researchers at the World Health Organization say the condition is common and found rates of infertility are similar across all countries and regions. However, researchers found that people in poorer countries tend to spend a significantly larger percentage of their income on fertility care compared to wealthier countries, which researchers say exemplifies a high-level risk of inequality to access in healthcare.
Lace up your sneakers. Tomorrow is National Walking Day. Since 2007, on the first Wednesday in April, the American Heart Association takes time to remind people about the health benefits of walking. It doesn't have to be a long one. Just carve out about 30 minutes at some point during the day. You're encouraged to walk with a friend, human or canine. Just don't forget to stretch and drink lots of water. And coming up in sports, it's Thomas Turgeon.
Hey Turge, what you got for us, bud?
Well, I've got quite a lot for you guys, so stick around as we've got a lot to talk about from Oswego State Athletics, and we'll take a new look at the Oswego State head coach on the men's lacrosse side. I'll have all this and more after the break.
Say, President Stanley, whenever there's bad weather, who would you turn to?
I'd turn to Storm Team 10.
No, but you've got to say it like this. Storm Team 10. Say it with me. Storm Team 10.
Roll it.
Jill told me it was Kitty from Glee. Yeah, what is it?
It's Al Roker.
Welcome back to WTOP-10 Nightly News. I'm Thomas Turgeon with your Tuesday night sports report. We start things off on the road in Geneseo, where the Oswego State women's lacrosse team was in action and would fall to the Geneseo Knights by a score of 13-8. The Lakers would be led by Selah Wiley with 3 points, as well as Shay McConnell and Julia Quirk both tallying a pair of goals in the loss. Britt Howard and the squad will return home before traveling up to Potsdam for a Friday afternoon matchup with the Bears at 3 p.m. Over to the Diamond now, where the Oswego State softball team had a doubleheader today against the Hamilton Continentals. The Lakers would fall in the first game by a final score of 14-0, and Oswego would only record 2 hits in the loss. Oswego would fall yet again in the second game, losing by a final score of 11-2. Oswego will go to the North Country this weekend for 2 doubleheaders with Plattsburgh and Potsdam on Friday and Saturday. The NHL regular season is also starting to dwindle down to the final few games, and the Buffalo Sabres are trying to make one final push with another building block matchup tonight against the Florida Panthers. The Sabres sit 5 points outside a wild card spot with 2 games at hand on the current second wild card, the Pittsburgh Penguins. Puck drop is at 7 p.m. and currently the Sabres, they trail to the Cats by a score of 2-1 in the third period. Down to the hardwood in NYC, where the Knicks have already clinched a spot in the playoffs and will be in action tomorrow night in Indiana for a date with the already eliminated Pacers. New York is currently 3 games back behind the 4-seed Cleveland Cavaliers and look to make up some ground at the Gainbridge Fieldhouse tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as New York has won 4 in a row, looking for 5. Well, although there has still been freezing temperatures here at the Laker turf, lacrosse is in full swing for Oswego State. However, this season also brings a new head coach to the program. Let's take a look. Meet Andrew Daly, the new Oswego State men's lacrosse coach, as well as the 3rd head coach of the program in the last 3 seasons. Daly comes from a vast coaching background from high school to college. However, as he tells us, Oswego was the right fit for him as a bench boss.
You know, getting back into the SUNYAC was something I was really excited about, and you know, I was kind of waiting for this job to potentially open up. It was the one that if it came open, I was hoping would, and I would go for it.
On the other hand, for junior midfielder Gavin Elston, he is well aware that the margin between being a good team and a great team is very small, as the SUNYAC Conference matchups linger later in the year, as he led the team in goals and points last season.
Yeah, so we obviously fell short from last year, so it was just 1-goal games. I mean, when it comes down to it, we just got to play a little bit harder, make smart decisions. We have the guys to do it, so we just have to go out there and show it.
For Daly, he believes that the program is trending in the right direction over the last few seasons, but is determined to increase that trend further while at the Oswego State program.
Right now, our main focus is just getting our intensity back, our physicality back, and making sure we're bringing it every day. A couple 1-goal games and things could be drastically different, so I know these guys have their sights set pretty high, and I want to make sure we're doing everything to try and reach that potential.
Coach Daly will clearly have a challenge on his hands with this squad, as 5 of the total 8 SUNYAC Conference games will not be played here at the Laker Turf Stadium in his first season at the program. From WTOP-10 Sports, I'm Thomas Turgeon. The Lakers will be back in action this upcoming Saturday at home when they welcome the Oneonta Red Dragons to the Laker Turf for a 1 p.m. start. And the Lakers, they look to make it 3 SUNYAC wins to start off conference play.
And they had a pretty good weekend last weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Plattsburgh came in here and really hard-fought game. They never gave up all the way through.
Yeah, and I mean, looking towards the weekend, we can expect the weather to be pretty good for the games as well, since we're looking at some sunny and mild temperatures. They also, we might be sweating a little bit when it hits around 60 on Monday, but we are expecting some thunderstorms around Wednesday, so stay tuned for that.
And that's our report for tonight. Be sure to stay tuned for Off the Clock.
Thank you all for watching, and have a great night, everyone.
Welcome back to Major Discussions.
Did you know dragging chains can spark a wildfire?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
Hey there, I'm Al Roker, class of 76. Yes, way back in 76. Back when the Earth was cooling. You're watching WTOP.